Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Sun.
Last night, the Rays shut down the Yankee offensive attack en route to a 2-0 victory. And tonight, send right-hander Chris Archer to the hill against a familiar foe as David Ortiz and the red-hot Boston Red Sox arrive at Tropicana Field. This, the final home series of 2016. We welcome you to Tropicana Field. The Rays fresh off a 2-0 win over New York last night. And tonight open the final weekend series at home of the season with the Boston Red Sox in town. The Red Sox up by 5.5 in the East. They have won 8 in a row. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Well, the Rays have won the season series against this Boston club every year except once since 2008. They come into this one 7-9. They're going to need a sweep to avoid dropping this season series to Boston, as the Rays have spent the last couple months of the season trying to find some answers. And in Kevin Kiermaier up at the number 2 spot, they found an answer or two.
Well, one way they can sweep this team is keep Kevin Kiermaier hot. I mean, since moving into the number 2 spot in the lineup, Kevin Kiermaier has been dynamic, and a lot of that on the back of his last 3 weeks. You see the last 20 games, the .342 average, the on-base percentage, important for being up at the top of the order, over 400 at .422. He's hit 5 home runs, he's driven 10 in, and he's also scored 15 runs. All the while, excitement, energy, playing great defense too, by the way, and Mookie Betts making a case for MVP. And the way that you do that is you finish strong. And look what he has done over the last month. .345 average. He's hit safely in 24 of the 28 games, 9 extra base hits, 19 driven in. Another guy moving down into the middle of that lineup, continues to stay very productive.
This weekend also marks the continuation of the farewell tour of David Ortiz, and for most major league pitchers, it cannot happen soon enough. Todd Callis has more when we return.
and his manager John Farrell. A little pregame discussion getting ready for the first of 3 between the Red Sox and the Rays from Tropicana Field. Here at Tropicana Field, Ortiz with those 34 home runs and 88 RBIs, by far the most of any visiting player, and probably marks that will stand for a long while after Ortiz retires. In our Toyota Inside Look, we see that Poppy's numbers all across the board. Just 3 years ago, the World Series MVP. He's been a part of 3 World Championship teams. He hopes to go out on top again this year. The 539 home runs, currently 17th all time, and he's won 6 Silver Slugger awards. We will hear from Chris Archer about what Ortiz has been like going against him head-to-head. But first, here's Kevin Cash, who was a teammate of Ortiz in 2007, 8, and 10.
I see it from a different perspective because, you know, when you're that 24th or 25th player, the way he reached out to those types of players, I mean, he treated you just like he treated his other peers that were superstars alongside him, and that takes a special teammate to do that.
Anytime you can face a legend, it's history, and it's what the big leagues is all about. I mean, you grow up watching these stars, and then you get to play with or against them. It's what makes it. It's another thing that makes it really fun.
Perhaps the greatest farewell season in Major League history. 36 home runs, 122 RBIs entering tonight's play. We're getting ready for baseball. In less than 3.5 minutes, it's the Rays and the Red Sox. Chris Archer against Drew Pomerantz right here on Fox Sports Sun.
And the Rays and the Red Sox prepare to square off. Chris Archer heads to the mound on the verge of making his 32nd start. He has had a tough time against this Boston Red Sox ball club. The Red Sox, meanwhile, come in with a magic number to clinch the title in the American League East of 5. And we'll take a look at their starting lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Dustin Pedroia is going to lead it off. He's followed by Bogarts and then Ortiz. Ortiz hitting third. In right field, Mookie Betts, the cleanup man. Ramirez at first. Shaw's down at third. Jackie Bradley Jr. in center. Holiday does the catching. Brock Holt is in left. He'll hit ninth.
Well, Chris Archer absolutely has struggled against the Red Sox. However, I'm sure that's something we'll talk about a little bit later on. But as of late, Chris Archer throwing the ball much better. His last 6 starts, the record just 2-2, but the ERA 2.77, 39 innings of work, just 29 hits given up, 44 strikeouts. Let's go ahead and set that raised defense to see how it's going to line up behind him. Brought to you by Golden Diamond Source. And in the outfield left to right, we have Dickerson, Kiermaier, and Matok. And across the infield third to first, 4 other guys.
And the first pitch is a called strike. We're underway.
And then there's a catcher behind the plate.
We're right on time.
I knew that was going to be trouble.
Pedroia fouls it back. Well, Pedroia starts the night as the second leading hitter in the American League at .320. That leadoff spot. And he's done damage against right-handed pitching as well as left-handed pitching. He's an equal opportunity offender of opposing pitchers.
And look what he's done. You remember when Boston made that move. You take Pedroia up to the leadoff spot. You take Mookie Betts. You move him down into the middle of the lineup. And it has worked out for both of them across the board.
And a cut and a miss right there. So Archer strikes him out to start this game.
You know, when you look at Dustin Pedroia's setup at the plate, it almost appears as if he's giving you that down and away pitch off the plate. And look what Chris Archer does. He takes that slider right to that spot, and he gets an awkward swing from Pedroia, one that you rarely see.
That slider in at 90 miles per hour. Xander Bogaerts. Close there in the mid-90s with a fastball. Bogaerts 295. Red Sox lead the major leagues in runs scored with 850 beginning this game. A 1-1 count.
How about the team second in the American League, the Cleveland Indians, 740. It's not even 110 more than the runner-up here so far in the American League.
Well, it's made John Farrell's 4th year as manager pleasant to this point. 89 and 64. It's a strike, and it's 2-2.
And they have done something, you know, since the beginning of September, and I'm sure the numbers that we'll get into. This team has kicked it into another gear, and they're starting to run away with things.
The count goes to 3-2. Well, the closing week of the regular season. So if you're going to get extremely hot, I guess that's the time to do it. There's ball 4. So a walk after the strikeout, 1 on, 1 out. And David Ortiz about to step in. Here's the Buick GMC big matchup versus Archer. 3 homers and 4 doubles, accounting for half of his hits in his career. Ortiz 14 hits in his career against Archer. Pitch is a strike.
Well, this is one of these matchups you love to just sit back, or maybe not even sit back, sit on the edge of your seat and watch. Power on power. 2 guys with a long history.
Pitch is wide. 1-1. Ortiz tied for 3rd with his teammate Mookie Betts in the league in hitting at .318. In the top 10 in home runs, 2nd in runs batted in. Takes it just low. See there in the American League behind Jose Altuve, then Pedroia, Betts, and Ortiz. Mike Trout, the Angels 5th. Upstairs, Archer missing with a fastball. It's 3-1.
Well, the 1-1 changeup, borderline pitch, goes Ortiz's way. Now you start to be a little bit careful. The 2-1 pitch missed badly. And now you wonder if he goes back off speed.
And a foul ball on that cut.
And it goes back with the slider there, trying to backdoor it. Got to be careful on a 3-1 count. And here it is. You see the setup by Maile. Backdoor slider, and Ortiz, big rip.
Runner goes, the pitch high, deep to right, way back and out of here. A tremendous blast by Ortiz. That gives Boston a 2-0 lead. What a shot.
But when you see where it is in the strike zone, a little bit of elevation, the quick hands and the quick bat of David Ortiz at his age, at the end of the season. Wow. I mean, that's between the belt and the letters, mid to upper 90s.
A strike to Betts. A tremendous blast that ricocheted off that last catwalk. One, 37th home run of the year. Close right there. 2-1. So the long home run. This one off the D-ring and right by David Ortiz.
Well, the first innings of ball games have been a struggle for Chris Archer. As you take a look, this D-ring right in there. That's where it came flying off of. Maybe even a little bit further left than that. That ball was powdered.
Now 3-2. Well, we'll take a look as it comes down and strikes the catwalk and ricochets back out toward the field. 3-2, a chop charged, a barehanded attempt on the pickup by Forsythe. That's going to be a base hit. Betts follows the home run with what turns out to be an infield single.
Well, you knew that was going to be trouble. Betts, not your prototypical, well, as far as production goes, he is, but he can run. And right here, gets on top of that breaking ball, and he is off to the races. Forsythe's got to come a long way, and it's a do-or-die type play. And it just gets smothered down there. That ball not taking a hop, and right off the fingertips.
So Betts now with a 10-game hitting streak. He is the runner. 2 runs in, 1 out. Ortiz taking over the leadership in the American League in runs batted in with his 2-run home run. He now has 124 runs batted in, 1 more than Edwin Encarnacion. Betts the base runner. Hanley Ramirez in the box. Chops it foul.
Well, this is another guy, you know, since the beginning of September, Boston Red Sox scoring 6.3 runs a game. And it's almost a full run more than the Seattle Mariners in the American League. big reason why. Hanley Ramirez, what he's been doing recently, the power, the production, recent player of the week. They got so many weapons in this lineup.
Swing and a miss through the fastball, 0-2. Well, there's the September put together so far for Hanley Ramirez. 10 home runs.
There you go. 10 bombs. That's tied with Brian Dozier leading Major League Baseball. 25 driven in. Gaudy batting average.
9 home runs in his last 14. And is out on strikes.
Didn't have a chance on that slider right there. Chris Archer with a lot of velocity on this one. Good depth, 90, 91 miles an hour. And hits it by Ramirez.
So Betts at first with 2 outs. Here's Travis Shaw. And he has been trouble for the Rays over the last couple of years. Takes a first pitch strike off speed. Change up in there. And against Archer, 3 of 9 with a home run mixed in among the 3 hits.
You know, and I got to tell you, Dwayne, I'm never a fan. I shouldn't say never. Usually not a fan of a first pitch changeup to a guy first time through the order, unless you have a history.
Yep.
You know, and these guys have a history. And there's been a number of at-bats and battles between Archer and Shaw. So you go back and you start looking at things, and then maybe the first pitch changeup first time up makes sense. And that's the only time that you really, you know, want to go and do that. And I know that we've talked about it in the past. Not a big fan, but in a situation like this, no big deal.
2-1 now to Shaw. The tap down to first, grabbed by Miller. He steps on the bag to retire the side. 2 runs on the home run by David Ortiz. Rays coming in to hit, down by 2. Home run he's given up this year in the top of the first. Rays come in to hit, down by 2. Logan Forsythe will lead it off. The lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Kevin Kiermaier and Evan Longoria will follow. Brad Miller, Mikey Montook, and Corey Dickerson down the middle. Alexi Ramirez hits 7th. Wilson and Maile round out the Rays lineup, with Maile the DH.
Well, lefty Drew Pomeranz makes his 30th start of the season. It will be his 13th start with the Boston Red Sox. 2-5 with them, ERA 4.91 and 62 and a third innings of work. As you look at his body of work combined with what he's done, or what he did with San Diego Padres.
Logan Forsythe takes the first pitch, and that's a ball. Up and away. Forsythe immediately stepping out on Pomerantz. Pitch is upstairs.
Well, we've seen him a couple of times this season already, and he sets a pace. You see how he catches that ball close to the rubber and right back to work.
Foul ball back. 2-1. Yeah, if you don't step out on him, he will absolutely set the tempo of the at-bat. Forsythe doing that right from the beginning. And now he's ahead in the count, 3-1. 27-year-old lefty out of the University of Mississippi. Ooh, check swing. He didn't mean to make contact there.
No, and you can see the frustration on Logan Forsythe. Like, are you kidding me? Because you're assuming that's going to be ball 4. And that little check swing keeps Pomerantz around.
Three-2 hit on the ground is short. Bogart's up with it. His throw to first in time. Forsythe retired.
Well, let's see if we can get through this defense. I'm going to give up my best shot, Dwayne. Here's the Boston Red Sox defense brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. And in the outfield, left to right, we have Brock Holt, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Mookie Betts. Across the infield, third to first, Travis Shaw, Xander Bogaerts, Dustin Pedroia, and Hanley Ramirez with Brian Holiday behind the plate. Room to spare.
Never any doubt.
That's why it's averages. Had no time for the Rays. Plenty of time for the Red Sox.
Well, Kevin Kiermaier found one out of play on the left side. That's a strike.
Wanted to get this game going. Highly anticipated series here.
Yep. Kiermaier down 0-2.
No, that's the pitch you got to look out for. If Drew Pomerantz is able to command the fastball pitch from ahead, he has got a nasty hook, spins it tight, gets a ton of depth to it.
1-2, and like a lot of guys with the variation of the knuckle curveball, tends to get a lot of depth with that particular pitch.
You spin it over one finger as opposed to two, and if you really get down over the front of that pitch, it comes out of there hot, and that spin is what gives you that depth. Able to get the fastball by Kiermaier there.
Pomerantz picks up his first one. Here is the fastball with the strikeout. Now Evan Longoria. Evan 1 of 7 against Pomerantz. Pitch is popped up, foul ball. It's coming back this way and out of play. Strike one. Base is empty, 2 gone. Ground ball, and that's headed to short. Down on one knee, Bogaerts recovers and makes the throw to first in time to get Longoria. A couple of ground ball outs and a strikeout. 2-0 Boston through 1. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Jackie Bradley Jr. fouls the first pitch right back into the upper deck, and right back down it comes. Look out below. Strike one. Bradley Jr. hitting .274 with 26 home runs. 200 off Archer, 4 for 20. It's 2-1. We mentioned at the outset, it has not been easy going for Chris Archer against the Boston Red Sox. Chris, for his major league career, is 10 games under 500. He's 40-50, and 9 of those games under 500 belong to the Boston Red Sox. He's 1-10 against Boston.
That win, 15 starts, that win came in his first start against the Red Sox over 4 years ago. It was September the 19th of 2012.
Forsythe with the pickup on this one. Bradley Jr. is out of there. I mean, that's a tough run for anybody.
Yeah, it's stunning too, with as good of stuff that Chris Archer has within the division rival, obviously, and yeah, you win your first start out against him, okay, and then the next 14 winless with 10 losses that you personally take. The team, you know, he's had, out of the 15 starts, 2 have been quality. So it's not like you've even had some tough losses.
Yep. Want to know the count to Brian Holiday. This pitch is down. Well, that losing streak, the next longest against the Red Sox in Tampa Bay history is 5. The last time a pitcher suffered through that was Seth McClung back in 05 and 06. A 3-0 count here to Brian Holiday. And ball 4 on 4 pitches. The Boston catcher is aboard. Well, there's Brock Holt playing left field for Boston. Pitch, strike call. Starts him with a slider. Well, it's top to bottom in this Boston lineup. And Holt hitting 9th. Archer jumps out in front, 0-2.
An exhausting lineup to face, and a lot of trouble. Different, you know, types of hitters, obviously left-handed, right-handed, and all of them seemingly very productive.
Back to the mound. Archer decides to go to first with that soft toss over there. There was some indecision all the way around on that one.
Well, initially he's thinking about going to second base, and I think the internal clock went off and said, no, I better just go to first. But then he just lollipopped the throw right over there, and it almost took the glove into of Brad Miller into the baseline a little bit too long. This is how you snap your wrist as a first baseman. See the footwork there. You got to get that glove out of there before Brock Holt runs it down.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that. He's got the catcher going up to second. He has time on that play, but just not a lot of confidence about making that throw back there and getting it there in time. And so with all those mixed signals and then that shaky throw to first.
Well, on those soft choppers like that, you're going to have to field, and even though it is the catcher, you're going to have to field, and in your mind, it's field, turn, step, throw without even really picking up second base. You're throwing where you know second base to be, but you don't have a lot of time to make eye contact with who's covering. And if you don't trust yourself to be able to do that, and instead you're worried about throwing it to Kiermaier, then you do what Chris Archer did.
So a man in scoring position for the top of the order, Dustin Pedroia. And that's the thing about it. You've got Pedroia up here. He's hitting .313 with men in scoring position. And now behind in the count 1-2.
And you remember the strikeout swing on the slider. That one right there, same thing. Two of the most awkward swings that we've seen Pedroia maybe in a couple of seasons. Watch this. This is just not him. Out there, everything out of sync and off balance. Having trouble covering that pitch, and I don't know why you would go away from it. Expect another one here.
And it's fouled away up the right side, out of play.
May do it again. Make sure you get it down in the zone. You've got some room to maneuver here, 1-2. We'll see.
One, two. And he's down again out there. Blocked by Wilson, and it's 2-2. So Archer staying out there with the slider. Xander Bogaerts on deck. Pitch away with a fastball that time.
Sometimes you start to lose the feel for an off speed, a breaking pitch, a changeup, and you throw so many of them in a row. Also, you're thinking, okay, listen, he's seen enough soft stuff out there. Why don't I try to rush 95, 96 by him?
Now it's 3-2, and he pops him up. Forsythe after this one and puts it away to retire the side and walk, and a man left. Bottom of the second coming. 2-0 Boston. The inning. Brad Miller is going to lead it off. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. A 30 home run season for Brad Miller after putting together 29 in his first 3 seasons. In half as many at bats, he has exploded And hit 30 so far this year. Skied on the first pitch into short center. Bogart's out there and had a little trouble staying with that one, tracking it all the way.
I could draw his route, Dwayne, on the telestrator here. Be a lot of fun. Be some retracing of lines.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, he's gonna head over to here and kind of back up and around. There'll be a little hop at the end. See how close we get. He's under control. Got it. Nope. Back. No. Back hop. Yep. That's close.
That was close to one of my former attempts at the tango. Oh, here's a shot off the bat of Mikey Matuk, and that ball is out of here. Matuk on the first pitch turns on a fastball and hits his second home run of the year. Matuk in the lineup in right field tonight and did not waste any time turning that fastball around from the left-hander Pomeranz.
Well, everybody's dangerous if you're going to lay a pitch right out over the plate, and Pomeranz just trying to get ahead, trying to come with a fastball in. That's another risky pitch. You know what I mean? First time through a lineup, you know, not a lot of history between Matuk and Pomeranz. You're thinking fastball down and away because the fastball in, it's a very high risk, at that point, low reward. And all of a sudden it leaks across the plate. Ray's going to run.
And now it's Corey Dickerson. And he takes a fastball for a strike. 23 home runs for Dickerson. 2 of those against left-handed pitching.
You know, that's one of those pitches where, you know, without a lot of history against a guy, you know, you're thinking he's up there balanced looking for something to hit. You go fastball down and away. Boy, if he starts to lean, now, okay, now maybe you come in, you stand him up, or you do whatever you have to do. But just a first pitch going for a strike on a called fastball, middle in, or even a swing, you know, there's not a whole lot of
margin for error.
Yeah, and there's not a big reward there.
Yeah.
I mean, your best bet is you paint one in the inside corner for strike one. Okay, now what? But you throw it and it leaks. All Mikey Matuk sees is a fastball right down Broadway, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? This is a gift."
Well, he's made it a one-run game with one swing of the bat. Dickerson out on strikes. Second strikeout for Pomeranz. Both the left-handed hitters on the fastball, getting ahead in the count each time.
And probably in the back of the mind, the left-handed hitters are looking and expecting the curveball, and he's able to all of a sudden sneak the heater by him.
Well, there's a breaking pitch to Ramirez for a strike. Alexei Ramirez, 239. That's combined with San Diego and the Rays, and 6 home runs. Pomeranz and Ramirez at one point this year teammates. Two 2-1 count. Two. Fly ball. Bradley Jr. coming in from center on the move, makes the catch. Ray's gonna run on the Mikey Matuk home run. We're through 2-1 Boston.
Tonight, guys, in our Rays Live post-game show, we will feature Roberto Clemente. Not only what he did on the field, but his humanitarian efforts off the field. We will hear from Chris Archer, Evan Longoria, Erasmo Ramirez, and our own Orestes Estrada as they share their feelings about the way Roberto Clemente influenced their lives in baseball. Also, the Rays embracing the Roberto Clemente spirit of humanitarianism with a canned food drive benefiting Tampa Bay. Finally, we'll learn more about the Ponle Acento league-wide initiative of MLB that recognizes the positive influence within baseball by Hispanic players throughout all of MLB. Speaking of Roberto Clemente and the Roberto Clemente Award, Chris Archer is this year's nominee for the Tampa Bay Rays, as he is one of 30 representatives who will be possibly honored this offseason as a Roberto Clemente Award winner for all his work he has done in the RBI programs and most recently with the Boys and Girls Club in Baltimore. Guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. Roberto Clemente, a Gold Glove winner for 12 consecutive years at a stretch in his career. Longoria takes care of this one. Gold Glover down there throws out Bogarts. And an all-star, named an all-star 12 times. Played in 15 all-star games. That's when they played 2 all-star games. So a 12-time all-star, but in 15 all-star games. Exactly 3,000 hits.
How about that?
Well, here's David Ortiz, who homered his first time. Here's after the first pitch, a high popper left side. They had the shift on. Longoria goes out into shallow left to retire him. A couple of quick outs here on the pop to left, and Longoria hustles out there to grab it.
Well, and after that extended first inning for Chris Archer, this is the kind that he needs badly.
Yeah. In fact, both innings, that 29 pitch first inning followed by a 19 pitch second inning. He's averaged 17 pitches an inning this year. That's his major league high in any one year.
Well, when you look at the number of strikeouts that he's going to produce, you know, that number is going to be elevated a little bit. And then you look at some of the struggles that he's had this year. You think early on about the fastballs up in the zone, missing, falling behind guys, and that, you know, over the course of time will add to that pitch count. Clean some things up here after the All-Star break, but tough to get all those numbers back to the career norms.
To see a shorted bat here against Betts, but a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. Betts is 2 for 2.
Let me tell you something. Mookie Betts, he's swinging the bat so well right now, making a great case for MVP. But he is a very disciplined hitter, and he's got such quick hands that allows him to let that ball travel just a little bit longer, a hair longer than most guys. And look how he stays inside that. Uses the whole field. I mean, for the guy that has put up his kind of production, you're talking about 31 homers, 108 driven in, and will take an 0-2 slider, stay inside of it, see it, and pop that thing into right field for a single. So well-rounded.
Hanley Ramirez misses that slider. Strike one. Well, you could tell from the first time he came up that he had a chance to be something special. Well, he is something very special for this Boston Red Sox team. He now has 206 hits to catch Jose Altuve for the lead in that department. And a ground ball through the hole on the left side for Ramirez. Betts goes to second base. 2 outs and now 2 men on.
Well, you know, Dwayne, we saw him early on, and you thought that he could be a very, very good player. I just don't ever think, you know, you envision that, you know, total bases. You think about the 31 home runs, just across the board. Like I said, so well-rounded, such a good overall hitter. You know, he's putting up those power and production numbers with that average at 318.
And you made a point on the quick hands against a slider from a right-hander. You know, There's a little Getty up on not only the fastball but the slider with Archer and those quick hands. One of the reasons he came into this game hitting .318 against right-handed pitchers, over .330 against right-handed pitching.
I mean, try to sneak a fastball by him. You may be able to do it every now and then, but he will turn around the best fastball there is, and it's because of those hands. I mean, they are lightning quick hands, and so when you can trust your hands and they're that fast, you can keep your eye. You can pitch recognition. You get a hair longer than most other hitters, and so now all of a sudden you recognize slider, you recognize away. You don't try to do too much with it. You just let it come into the zone and then fire those hands and you hit that rocket to right field. He's just gifted in ways that most hitters are not.
Travis Shaw, 2-1 to count. Now 3-1.
I mean, how many times have you seen a leadoff guy? You're a leadoff hitter. You're going to set the table, get things started. And he's so productive that you move him right down into the middle with 31, 108, and counting.
Yep. That's a strike. Full count. Runners will be off. Bench just reminding everybody at second, just in case you didn't know. 2 outs, full count. Let's be off. He's going 3-2. Sky deep to left. Dickerson toward the corner. He'll be there, and he makes the catch. Retiring Shaw and Boston. Couple of hits, no runs, 2 left. Bottom of the third coming, 2-1 Boston. Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts Glory Ram. By Lazy Day RV, your RV authority. By Furman Chevy, shop FurmanChevyTampa.com. And by Toyota, let's go places. Bobby Wilson's going to lead off the bottom of the third. Bobby doing the catching tonight, followed by Luke Maley and then Logan Forsythe. And a wave and a miss on a breaking pitch. Rays facing Drew Pomerantz, tall left-hander.
And Drew trying to get it back on track. You know, when you look at this overall Red Sox team, we already talked about what they've done offensively since the beginning of September. 6.3 runs a game, a record of 15-5, which leads Major League Baseball.
Bogarts makes this play, 1 gone.
But then you look at what the pitching has done, leading the way in the American League in ERA. Their starters have the best ERA in the American League, and their bullpen They've given up 5 earned runs in 54 1/3 innings. A .83. That leads Major League Baseball, and it's not even close. But Drew Pomeranz, his last couple of outings within the division, he's been the one guy that has struggled here recently.
Well, Luke Maile in the lineup for the Rays. He has a home run off Pomeranz. He's in there hitting 9th as the DH. See how he fares tonight against him.
You're looking for any edge that you can. I mean, this Boston team comes rolling into Tropicana Field. You know, they've done something in the last 2 series. First of all, a 4-game series, those are tough enough. And to sweep a 4-game series, extremely difficult. They've done it back-to-back within the division. I mean, this team playing as well or better than anybody in the game, and so you look for these edges. Okay, Maile's had a home run, get him in the lineup. I mean, whatever you can.
Yeah. And they've established that if you're going to beat him, you'd better score over 5 runs, because they've won all of those games on scoring 5. Look at this, 15-5 so far in September.
Yeah, and that ERA, second in major leagues, but it leads the way in the American League. You see the whip, walks and hits per innings pitched right at 1. That's the gold standard. I mean, if you can do that, that means, listen, you're throwing 50 innings, you give up 42 hits, and you have 8 walks. That's pretty outstanding, a base runner an inning. And that's going to keep that ERA way down.
Shot toward left center field. That's going to be in there. One hop to the wall, an extra base hit on its way for Maile in at second with a stand-up double. Well, Kevin Cash may be onto something with that matchup of Maile and Pomeranz. Maile picking up a 2-base hit.
Well, it's another fastball by Pomeranz, and another fastball that he's trying to come in, and he leaves it out over the middle. You may want to readjust there. That's one of those pitches where sometimes when you're having a hard time getting that ball in on guys, you got to tell your catcher, in this case Ryan Holiday, when you call the fastball in, get way in there. Almost tuck yourself behind the hitter so that I really have to reach to get that ball in there. Just to stay over the inner half, there's too much margin for error, and it's too easy of a miss out over the plate, and he's done that a couple of times, and it's hurt him.
First pitch strike here into Logan Forsythe. So the Rays with a potential tying run at second base, 1 out in the top of the order up here.
I mean, I used to yell at my catchers, when I go fastball in on a right-handed hitter, I want you, I mean, as far as you can get in there. And if they weren't in far enough for my liking, I'd say something to them, and they'd be like, listen, the ump is pushing me back. I'm not allowed to go that far. But sometimes you want them tucked way back in there. That forces you to reach, and it gets the ball to its spot.
Down to third. And the throw's going to be to first, with Maile surprising Shaw over there. And Shaw looked up, saw him coming, and said, well, I guess I'm going to throw it to first. And Maile advances to third anyway on a ground ball to third.
Initially, he was going to go for it. I mean, he took a step or two towards Maile, going to go make the tag. And then I guess in his own mindset, I'm not going to be able to reach him, so I'll take the throw over to first base. But definitely caught by surprise. There it is. Look, see, and right there, quick decision, not going to get there.
Well, Maile had the element of surprise on his side. To strike to Kiermaier. We talked about the winning streak of the Red Sox. They've won 8, and their last 5 wins, they've scored exactly 5 runs in 5 consecutive games to win them all. 8 in a row overall. Kiermaier fouls it into the top of the screen. He's down in the count.
What they just did to Baltimore. You know, Baltimore came out of the Rays series feeling pretty good about where they were and what they could do in the wild card and make a run at the division. They stroll in there, and you know, they're playing Baltimore anyway, and they sweep a 4-game series. They push Baltimore right out of the wild card race right now.
Into the dirt, and it's blocked by Holiday.
You know, You hate these lost opportunities. You know, you're thinking about that play by Maile. Okay, well, he got to third base, but with 2 outs, you're going to need a hit. Well, Pomerantz, because of that curveball, has got 10 wild pitches. And right there, outside of Brian Holiday in a great block, almost had 11, and the Rays almost had another run.
Into the dirt again, and this one blocked and rolling up the third baseline. So there's that curveball again.
Well, I guess he trusts Brian Holiday because he has yanked these two guys right into the dirt, not even close to a competitive pitch, and Holiday doing a great job of keeping that ball close and keeping Maile at third. And he's got wonderful nail polish too. Really pops here in the fall. Pumpkin colored.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. The foul ball. Well, they're coming out of Baltimore, where he probably made his way over into the Baltimore clubhouse and swiped some Baltimore Orioles team colors.
Yeah, he absolutely did. That right there is why I would have a hard time being a catcher. I don't know if I could do that. Maybe I'd do some tape, something. I don't know if I could do that. It would have
you
to
don't think so?
I don't think so. I just don't. It's not me.
Yeah.
I've got enough issues.
Yeah, well, the other thing that I didn't get a chance to respond to, and you said you yell at your catcher. I just can't imagine you yelling at anyone.
Well, it's not really yelling. Well, yeah, I guess maybe it's
speaking
sometimes
loudly.
Yeah, or forcefully.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, guy. Last time I checked, you've seen my velocity. I can't afford mistakes out over the plate. Get back in there, and I mean tuck yourself. Okay, you hear me?
I like it. Just being assertive. 2-2 is fouled right back. Out of play it goes.
Well, listen, I've done it before. When my stuff, when I'm going in on a righty and it leaks back out over the plate,
yeah,
guess
dangerous.
what? Dangerous. Dwayne, I'm either running to back up a base, or I'm quite frankly ignoring what's happening behind me, and I'm pleading for a new baseball. And that's not fun feeling. So get in there.
Now full count. Another block by Holiday. Well, Pomerantz making it interesting here after he got ahead. 2 strikes to Kiermaier, and 3 interesting breaking balls, and 2 of them really interesting. So the count is full. Fouled back. So battling at bat by Kiermaier.
Love this at bat by Kiermaier. And we talked about how hot he's been over the last 3 weeks in the Open. The on base up over 420. It's at bats like this that will earn that to you. You know, you work this count. You've worked it full now. You foul off some pitches. Maybe you drive the run in here, or you work yourself a walk.
Lifted into left. Holt will make the catch to retire the side. Ray's got a double, leave a man. We go to the 4th, 2-1 Boston. First game of this series between the Rays and Boston. Toyota keys to success. The lowest opponent average since the All-Star break. And Archer third on that list behind Verlander and Rick Porcello at 208 since the break. And things have been better for him. Jackie Bradley Jr. tapped it foul. Bottom three in the order, Bradley Jr., then Holiday and Holt. It's a ball and a strike. And to right. Montauk right there to catch it. Came in a couple of steps, waited and grabbed it. Couple of runs off Archer, both in the first inning. That was a major problem, as you recall, early in the year. It's been a bit better lately, and pretty good at home. A lot of that was on the road. That first inning issue. Holiday fouls it back, strike one.
Well, really, it was coming out of the bullpen with lack of command of the fastball.
Yep.
I mean, how many times did you see the first pitch of the game was arm side high, up and out of the zone, and it was tough for him to find his way into the zone, put himself behind by giving up a lot of runs early, and then by the time he settled into the game, sometimes it was a little bit too late. But you're right, as he's turned it around after the All-Star break and the numbers much better, you haven't seen that issue much anymore, except here to David Ortiz, who's having a special year.
And strike three call. Holiday looking at his slider. Got a couple of swinging third strikes on that pitch in the first, and now one looking. His third strikeout of the night, two gone in the fourth.
They've just given up. I'd say he's been throwing this pitch with a lot of velocity and has had a good amount of success with it here tonight so far.
Brock Holt out pitcher first, his first time. All those strikes. One and one. Rays 7-9 against Boston in the season series. They've won 4 and dropped 3 here at Tropicana Field. Ground ball, that's going to go through the right side. So after getting the first 2, there's a base hit for Holt. Archer, same thing in the third. He got the first 2 men, then gave up the hit to Betts. Wound up leaving 2 men on base in that inning. And that is hit number 5 of the evening, given up by Archer. So back around to the top of the order we go. Here's Dustin Pedroia. Pitch is a strike. Something that you don't really like to see, the leadoff man hitting for the 3rd time in a game, and it's the 4th inning.
No.
But it's still a 2-1 game.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, you've danced out of some trouble.
Pretty close pitch. He really wanted that one, and you can't blame him. 1-1. Fly ball right field. Montauk will go back to the track. Should have room and does. Makes the catch. A step from the wall to retire Boston. They get a hit, leave a man, do not score. 2-1 Boston. We go to the Rays half of the 4th.
Brought to you by T-Mobile, shows us the award winners today in the Rays 2016 Minor League Awards. Zach Law named the Eric Walker Community Champion, Brent Honeywell the Minor League Pitcher of the Year for the Rays, and Casey Gillespie the Minor League Player of the Year. And guys, all the award winners are down here in the 162 landing, and we have the two guys we just talked about, Brent Honeywell, Casey Gillespie right here. Brent, we'll start with you. Quite a season it was for you, starting in Port Charlotte, moving up to Montgomery. What were you most happy with this year?
Get out of Port Charlotte.
Get out of the Florida State League heat?
Yeah, get out of that heat a little bit. It's still hot in Montgomery, but it was good to get to where big step of this year was to get there. So it was a nice goal to get to.
The fact that your dad was in the Pirates organization for 3 years, has that helped you at least in terms of what to expect when he has been through that?
Oh yeah. It's always good to have somebody that's played the game, and just like what I'm doing now. So there's no bad thing about that. So he helps me in the off season, helps me in season. We'll look over video, everything of that nature is good.
Brent was our minor league pitcher of the year for the Rays, and then speaking of a guy who's got some experience with an older sibling in this case, Connor, who plays at the big league level, Casey Gillespie joins us now. Casey, I was looking through your numbers game to game, and it seemed like whether you were AA Montgomery or up to the AAA Durham Bulls, you stayed fairly consistent game in, game out. Is that one of the things you were most proud of and was trying to achieve this year?
Yeah, I think any baseball player will tell you that being consistent is what usually separates you from this level to the next level. And coming into this year, I wanted to be as consistent as possible and be a durable guy in the lineup every day.
When you look at your season, you get up to the Durham Bulls, you're a step away. Does it feel like, you don't want to push too hard, but does it feel like this could soon be a reality for you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely being here tonight, pretty cool feeling, getting the award and everything. But, I try and worry about the things that I can control. And, it's so easy to get caught up in thinking, what the front office is thinking or all those things. But, having an older brother that went through it, he told me just to worry about what you can control and, go out and do your best and be the best teammate that you can be every day.
I know it's been a long season for both of you guys. You're probably going to start some workouts to get ready for the 2017 season. You're going to be pitching in the Arizona Fall League. You looking forward to that?
Oh yeah. I don't know what to expect. I heard the ball flies, and I'll appreciate my off-speed stuff. So I'm really looking forward to it.
And your off-speed stuff is a changeup, which is filthy. It includes a screwball, right? Is there some influence with your dad having played under Mike Marshall in that pitch?
Oh yeah. Marshall taught my dad, and my dad taught me. And it's been a screwball ever since I was young. So he, like I said, man, my dad's my pitching coach on and off the field. So I can't do anything right on the mound with him, but it does. He's helped out a lot with it.
We can't wait to see these guys at Tropicana Field. Big K-Star, Casey Gillespie, Brent Honeywell, minor league player, minor league pitcher of the year for the Tampa Bay Rays. Guys, back to you.
All right, a shot off the bat of Miller beyond the reach of Holt, and into second goes Brad with his 27th double of the year. Just like that, the Rays had the potential tying run in scoring position. 1 out, 2 base hit in the fourth.
Keep hanging around, take a ball that's up and away. See Brock Holt going for it.
He's going to try to make that dive. He comes up a little bit short. Brad Miller out there at second base. Mikey Matuk comes to the plate, and all he did his last at bat was see a fastball out over and crushed it to give the Rays their run.
There's Mikey Matuk. Pitch is a strike. Here's that first pitch home run in the second. Chops this one foul outside of third. 0-2. Always an exciting day for the minor leaguers to come up. As you just saw Todd chatting with Casey Gillespie and Brent Honeywell. Honeywell out of the June 14 draft. Same thing for Gillespie. And Gillespie, with that move to AAA, put together some pretty good numbers after spending the first part of the year at Montgomery. It'll be interesting to watch their development over the next year or so.
Well, once you get into Double-A, obviously in Triple-A, you get into that range. You know, you start to think to yourself, not that much further away. There's not many levels left between me and the big leagues. So you're right. These next couple of years will be huge.
1-2 the count on Mikey. And time called, as Todd mentioned, Honeywell's dad pitched for St. Leo University under Mike Marshall up there. And Marshall, Cy Young Award winner in the early 70s, and a guy who just felt you ought to pitch every day. He couldn't pitch enough.
It reminds me of a former teammate, Mike Morgan. You know very well.
Yep.
Same thing.
Ground ball, that's going to go through. Miller had to wait to see if it would get through the hole. He'll stop at third, and it's now first and third. Ball loose for a moment. Holiday backing it up. So it will be first and third with one out here. And Corey Dickerson's going to get a chance.
Now breaking ball, Mikey Montuk stays right on it and hits that ball with enough authority, finds the open hole. Now 2 out of 2, and the Rays with a great chance here. First and third, one out, trailing by a run. You want Corey Dickerson putting this ball in play. He struck out his first time up, and you better believe that Drew Pomeranz looking for the same thing here. Take a ground ball too.
Dickerson started the night hitting .244, .250 off lefties.
Well, he's a guy for the Rays that's been hot here over the last month or so. Driving the ball with authority, a home run, a lot of doubles.
And the pitch covered up by Holiday, breaking ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Embry up in the bullpen, the right-hander for Boston. Ground ball over the mound. Out at second and out at first. That was close. Dickerson hustling down the line, trying to beat the play. And Kevin Cash saying, wait just a moment. The Rays may want to take a look at that. We'll see after conferring with the video. Dickerson grounding into what is right now an inning-ending double play.
Pedroia's got to get rid of it in a hurry. Gets enough on it, does he? Yes, looks like he, boy, that is awfully close, but I do not think, well, this will be a better shot of it. Ball in the back of the glove. Where is Corey Dickerson's foot? I mean, that's close. That is really close.
And the Rays are deciding they're going to accept the double play as it was called. That will snuff out the threat in the inning, and we'll head to the 5th. 2-1 Boston. 75 pitches through the front four, 29 of those coming in the 2-run first when he surrendered a home run to David Ortiz. Ortiz will hit second in this inning. Bogaerts to lead it off. First pitch into Xander Bogaerts. Lifted into center. Kiermaier closes and makes the catch. Enough hang time, and Kiermaier runs under that one to grab it. With the Rays double play season ticket, fans receive the lowest price and can choose from one of several can't buy big league experiences, including a chartered flight to Miami to see the Rays play, or a catered suite to a 2017 Rays game. Turn a double play today. Call 888-FAN-RAYS to talk with the Rays specialist. Ortiz 1 for 2. Takes the pitch, a fastball for a strike. 37 home runs now for Ortiz and 124 runs batted in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two and one. Ortiz hit the home run off the catwalk in right field his first time up. 14th ball off the catwalk this year. And there it is. 3-1 the count. And he lifts a fly ball into center. It's Kiermaier making the catch for the second out. 2 up and 2 down. Oh, Mookie Betts. Betts 2 for 2. Strike the count. Archer 8 of 18, leading the major leagues in losses, coming in with a 4.05 earned run average. Touch for the 2 runs in the first, and has the first 2 men retired here in the 5th. And a base hit. This is the 3rd straight inning he's retired the first 2 men and then has given up a hit. That gives Betts 3 for 3 tonight against Archer.
Leaving that one there, you can see how he just lets that ball get into the zone and then just unleashes the hands on it. He's spraying the ball all over the place here tonight, and Chris Archer having trouble closing out innings.
That's half of the Boston hits tonight. Now Hanley Ramirez, who has struck out and singled. Foul right back into the screen. Healthy cut by Ramirez.
And those are the pitches that Hanley Ramirez really wants to attack and wants to do damage on, because the good sliders, the sliders down and away with depth, have given him trouble. Got a hit last time on one that stayed up. He was able to roll over it and get it into the hole out into left field. But the good sliders have given him trouble, so you want to take advantage of the fastball.
Wilson trying to bring that one back to the corner. It was wide. Now 1-1.
And quite frankly, Chris Archer's good slider is going to give a whole lot of hitters trouble. But he's gotten some awkward swings here tonight from this Boston lineup when he's been able to keep it down and away. He's getting some depth to it and throwing it with a lot of velocity.
Swing and a miss. That fastball, he took that one up out of the zone and got Ramirez to chase it.
Yeah, and that's why, he wants to attack the hard stuff. That's just it. So you give him the fastball, this one way up, and you're just never going to get there. Now you put yourself in the situation, Chris Archer with 2 strikes, and that's never a good place to be.
For the first, Betts is back in. Cut and a miss. He gets him. That slider at 91 strikes out Ramirez for the second time. Home half of the 5th coming up. 2-1 Boston. The 5th inning. Sunday, take advantage of fan appreciation specials, including $5 all-you-can-drink Pepsi fountain drinks, half off retail items, and even trade up your old Devil Rays or Red Sox jersey for a new Rays jersey for just $60. Call 888-FAN-RAYS for more information. Pitch wide to Alexi Ramirez. The count is 1-1. Bobby Wilson next, and then Luke Maile. A 2-1 count. Pomerantz, a little over 60 pitches, working to his first hitter in the 5th. And Ramirez is ahead of him, 3-1. Last time out, Pomerantz worked 3 2/3 against the Yankees. Had a no decision in what turned out to be a 5-4 win. He gave up 4 runs on 7 hits. Into short right, a start and then a stop and a start again by Betts, who made the catch.
And Mookie Betts made himself very, very small out there. I don't know if he was trying to get a better angle because of the bank of lights here. But watch how he goes after this one. Okay, now get low, get low.
He's ready to pounce.
Always.
Wilson Takes it wide.
You know, and that's the other thing. He's got that scowl, that Mookie Betts scowl. It's not there yet, but you'll see it. You'll see it all series long. That little lip gets curled, and he just has that ear. And,
yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And he was close right there. More when he's active at the plate on the base paths, just chilling now. We'll get there. No action.
Yeah, he's a guy from just a dead stop to instant action.
You know, another young, full of energy, extremely productive. I mean, you know, he's got good speed, good power, plays the game hard. And you're look at like Ford right now, bored out of his mind. So you better believe if there's some action or something he can get mixed up in, he's going to take off and join in. I'm not even sure that he watched that pitch.
But if somebody hit it, he would be tracking it.
Yeah.
Here's a 5th-round pick, Mookie Betts. Never know what's going to come out of the draft.
No, and you know what? I'll bet you it didn't have as much to do with his skill as his size. You know, when you see his list 5'9", you know, you're thinking big first round to draft the big guys.
Yeah.
I want some big guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you know those stories.
That's right. Sometimes those little guys are pretty good.
That's right.
Strike 3 call. Bobby Wilson. Yeah, in fact, we were talking about that the other night when Ozzie Timmons, who was a hitting coach for the Rays in Durham, joined the club, and it was fun to chat with him a little bit. And he was drafted by the Cubs by Jimmy Fry, who was the GM, who was a strong proponent of drafting big guys because in his mind they had drafted too many little guys. He wanted to draft big guys, and Ozzie Timmons was one of the big guys they drafted.
That was a great story. I want you to draft me some big guys. I'm tired of these little guys.
Yeah, he said, look at everybody else. They're drafting big guys. We got little guys. We need to draft big guys. And when he became GM, that's what he did. 1-1 the count to Luke Maile. But Mookie Betts a pretty good pick right there in the 5th round for the Red Sox.
Yeah, people get so caught up, and you know, obviously there's good reason for it, but people get so caught up in the measurables. You know what I mean? Height, weight, velocity. This, you know, at the end of the day, can the guy play?
Yeah.
He got some tools, sure, but can he play the game? And then there's some other guys who can play the game. They don't have the measurables, but they just are good players. I don't care what sport it is, and they kind of slip through the cracks. 5th round still pretty high. You think about a guy like Kiermaier, 36th round.
Oh yeah, how about that?
Yeah.
Maile has this one riding in on him, and he fouls it to stay alive. It's 2-2. Well, that's at least in theory the great thing about this game. I mean, there's room for everybody in this game. You've got baseball talent, whether you're big, small, or somewhere in between. Cut and miss. Moving up to chase that fastball. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Pomeranz. 2-1 Boston. Early tonight, a walk to Bogarts and a 3-2 pitch hit off the catwalk in right field for a home run by David Ortiz. Hit the D-ring in right. Mikey Montook jumped on the first pitch he saw in the second inning, hit it out. That made it a 2-1 game, and that's the scoring as we go to the 6th. An Ortiz home run and one by Montook. Travis Shaw leading off the 6th inning for Boston against Chris Archer. Pitch is foul out of play for a strike. Shaw, Bradley, and Holiday due up. Two. You know, we're talking about big guys and little guys, and today the Roberto Clemente Award and all the nominees from all the clubs and being recognized, and with a great career and the humanitarian work Roberto Clemente turned in. Shaw's out on strikes. 5th strikeout for Archer. Got him with a slider down and in. Clemente was not a big guy. You know, they listed him at 5'11", maybe, and 175 pounds.
Soaking wet.
But I mean, what a player.
Yeah.
I mean,
the great thing about baseball is it's a skill sport. And if you have the skills and can show the skills, the scouts are going to find you.
Yeah.
You know, there are, what, 60 rounds in the draft? You know, they're scouring every junior college, high school, across the board. You know, summer baseball is huge, especially if you are in high school. You get on some of these better teams. You know, you travel to these really good tournaments where the scouts kind of congregate so they can see everybody in one place. And if you have the skills, you will catch an eye. And you can make yourself into a player. I mean, look at Dustin Pedroia. You know, I mean, not a huge guy. Look at his skills.
And again, you know, that goes back to the Clemente story.
Yeah.
Signed by the Dodgers, they tried to hide his skills. They sent him to Montreal, and because there was a first-year player draft, the team that finished last had a chance then to look at all of these young players, pick one. Well, they tried to hide him. They had him in the minor leagues, wouldn't play him. He'd take batting practice with the pitchers. They did everything. Yeah, they did everything they tried to hide him. And a strikeout of Bradley Jr. So back-to-back strikeouts, and again the first 2 men of the inning retired. Yeah, they tried to hide him, and the Dodgers sent a scout out and said, "Hey, what about this guy?" And the manager he's playing for said, "What? You're interested in him?" He said, "Well, maybe." And then they would hide him, scout leave. They'd let him play for a day or two, and then not play him.
Oh, wow!
And then Pittsburgh took him because they finished last for like the 3rd or 4th year in a row. They got the first pick. They took him. That's how he became a Pirate.
Imagine trying to pull that stunt in the day and age of social media.
Yeah, really. I mean,
be tweeting like, "What do I got to do?"
There's a strike, 1-1.
Can't even get myself in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
People would take notice.
Yeah. So send your scouts out. Get after those guys who never play.
Get after the guy who never plays in the minors.
Yeah.
That's who we want.
Yeah.
Him.
2-1 the count on Holiday, the catcher. 2 outs, nobody on. Two and two. Well, there's 2 in the first. They've had base runners in every inning, despite the fact now that in the last 4 innings, Archer's retired the first 2 to face him, and now he's 2-2. The catcher, Brian Holiday. Archer looking for his first 1-2-3 inning, and he's still not going to get it. Holiday sticking that bat out there and sending a base hit through the right side.
How about that at bat by Holiday? You're thinking one more good slider down and away, and This inning is a wipeout for Chris Archer, and he just backside going one way, bat going the other, gets the bat out there, covers the plate, finds a hole. Not the prettiest, but boy, was it effective.
Brock Holt fouls it back. A little over 100 pitches for Archer. 2 outs into the 6th. And the Rays are down by a run. Ball loose from the Boston bullpen. It'll be retrieved by Alexi Ramirez. And Danny Eveland has started the throw in the Rays bullpen. One and one. Oh, a 1-2 count to Holt. Rays get some action in their bullpen. 2 outs in the 6th. Dana Eveland has been up for a few tosses, and now Danny Farquhar starts to loosen.
Both of these guys got some big strikeouts on that last road trip.
And a cut and a miss. Holt is out on strikes. 3 strikeouts in the inning and a man left. 2-1 Boston through 5.5. The 6th inning, Drew Pomeranz no longer in this game, working 5, giving up a run on 4 hits.
Yeah, primarily getting it done with the fastball and the curveball. You see a changeup there to get Bobby Wilson, but for the most part, elevate that fastball, bring the curveball down off of it, and certainly a bounce back outing for Drew Pomeranz after his last 2, and he will give way right now to Joe Kelly. Former starter, now moved to the bullpen, and boy, he got it rolling down in Pawtucket. And here he is. You know, he's got a great arm and a lot of velocity with the fastball, and was taken to this role quite well.
17th appearance. He is 3-0. Logan Forsythe up here for the 3rd time tonight. 1 strike the count. Twice grounded out against Pomeranz. 1 ball, 1 strike. A home run, 1 run, 4 hits allowed by Pomerantz in 5 innings. Struck out 4. Two and 1. Kiermaier is on deck, then Longoria. Down to third, backhanded pick by Shaw. Throw is right there, and that is a nifty play by Travis Shaw at third base.
No question about it. The backhand side, close to the line. Logan Forsythe trying to sneak this one by him. And look at him get down low, get the head down there close to the glove, get to his feet, and then make a nice strong throw across the diamond right on the money to Hanley Ramirez. That was a very nice play by Travis Shaw.
Kevin Kiermaier against Kelly. Ball, no strikes. Kelly can get that fastball up there in the high 90s. It gives you the fastball curveball combination, a slider in the mix from time to time, but a very good arm. On the ground to the right side, that fastball at 96. And Pedroia throws out Kiermaier. 2 away. Garten now up in the bullpen for the Rays. Evan Longoria is grounded to short and has lifted a fly ball to right, looking for his first hit. Takes fastball for a strike. One. See the range for Kelly. Just missed there. Not by much.
Not by much at all. That's a borderline pitch, and that's a swing in the count. You know, 2-1, 1-2. Big difference. And how it ends up after that. Overall, you get a ball loose on the field. And we cannot show because that would just encourage more balls to get loose on the field.
Well, Farquhar's busy again along with Garten. Two. Kelly originally getting to the big leagues with the Cardinals in 2012. Went to Boston in 14. This popped up a fastball in on Longoria. Hanley Ramirez in foul territory makes the catch. And the Rays are up and down 1-2-3. We go to the 7th, 2-1 Boston.
ball game, and he would give up the 2-run blast to David Ortiz in the first inning, but would recover from that and keep the Red Sox scoreless from then on. The slider, throwing that thing hard tonight, 90, 91 miles an hour. I'll tell you, when he got that ball down in the zone, the good depth that he gets on that pitch, these Red Sox hitters really didn't stand a chance. Started to ring up some strikeouts, ended up striking out this side with a hit given up to Holiday to finish his outing, 6 innings, and he's done his job. Both of the starters out of there, and we go to a battle of the bullpens with the Rays trailing by 1.
And Ryan Garten is the new Rays pitcher. So Archer leaves down 2-1. And the Rays, unless they can come back here and pull even. Archer, if he's going to figure in this decision, it would be a loss. And the Rays pin their hopes on Ryan Garten to hold Boston and give the Rays at least 3 shots here the rest of the way.
Well, and he's going to have his work cut out for him, because he's going to start right off at the top with Dustin Pedroia as we start off the 7th inning.
And the first pitch to the leadoff man, Pedroia. There's a fastball missing. 1 ball, no strikes. Fouled back, 1-1. 105 pitches for Archer. Pedroia, Bogarts, and Ortiz.
Uh-oh. Monster truck is loosening.
That's Robbie Rouse Jr. busy in the bullpen.
I mean, just tell me that doesn't have monster truck written all over it.
Well, there's a foul ball right down to Farquhar on the mound, who made the catch. 1-2. Can you imagine Ross Jr. driving through Boston on his way to Fenway in a vehicle such as you refer?
I can't imagine anybody driving in downtown Boston, number 1. But number 2, yeah, I mean, I could see it. I'm telling you, I could see him in that truck.
And then maneuvering into that lot there.
Oh, forget the lot.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? No, Dwayne, let's think here. Monster truck.
He just drives right over the top, parks anywhere he wants.
He uses it like a little tent over somebody's smaller car, a little Alfa Romeo.
Line drive going to be caught by Forsythe. So 1 out in the 7th inning. Speaking of a man who's innovative and loves monster trucks
and is an Alfa
and Alfa Romeos, here is Todd Callis, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know how to follow that up, guys. I feel like I interrupted something very special there. David Ortiz, of course, with a 2-run home run earlier, has now become the all-time leader in not only home runs, but RBIs in his final Major League Baseball season. He had the mark over Dave Kingman with his previous home run, and tonight he passed Shoeless Joe Jackson in the RBI total. Shoeless Joe ended up having the suspension for the rest of his career after 123 RBIs. So Papi owns both guys. So in back-to-back nights against the Rays, we have seen perhaps the number 3 hitter for the Yankees having the best start in MLB history to a career, and now the number 3 hitter for the Red Sox having the best finish to an MLB career.
Yeah, how about that? So surpassing Shoeless Joe. In the RBI department, Garten trouble, but picks it up and still makes the play. And boy, his heart had to be beating at a rapid pace there when he failed to make the pickup the first time and scrambled to make any play at all.
No, this is one of the worst feelings you'll ever feel as a pitcher. Seemingly pretty easy, takes a weird bounce off the leg, and then it is panic city, baby, when he does enough to make the play.
You would score that inside of the left knee to the right calf, to the glove, to the hand, and then to 3.
Wish we had that play last night.
To Coffin. And here is another pitching change coming for the Rays. You by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory Ram. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. Dana Evelyn in the game to face David Ortiz. First pitch. He shoots it to deep center field. Kiermaier will play it off the wall. Ortiz digs for 2, and he is in there safely at second base. A double off the center field wall on the first pitch offered by Dana Evelyn. Evan Longoria got the second to take the throw. And that's the 48th double for Ortiz.
And a sweeping breaking ball that stayed up in the zone and flat. And David Ortiz this close to giving the Red Sox a 2-run lead, but Kiermaier doing a great job of getting there, getting the ball back in, and boy, had a play.
And the Rays have decided they want to have this play looked at, well, maybe coming off the bag.
Yeah, that right foot. Watch it right here. Oh, he's there. Let's see. Tag applied. Watch the right foot come off. Boy, was it. Yeah, then that tag got the right knee before the left knee came down. This inning is over, folks. Book it.
So that's, if it is overturned, will deny him his 48th double.
Yeah, that glove of Longoria is on the right knee while the foot's off the bag and the left knee still hasn't come into contact with the bag. He's out. Gotta be.
And he is. So Ortiz is out at second base. That'll be a single. And the call overturned. He's out. Longoria put the tag on him. Geico's great moment today. In 2000, Fred McGriff joins Frank Robinson, only the second player ever to collect 200 home runs in both the American and National Leagues. When he goes deep, that came off Roy Halladay in the first inning. On this day, 2000, Robbie Ross Jr. goes to the hill, the third pitcher for Boston. He's on to face the middle part of the order, Brad Miller.
Well, more than a strikeout an inning for Monster Truck. 54 and 52 in the third. 49 games.
It's chopped foul.
He's another guy out of this Red Sox bullpen. Like I said, you know, coming into this ball game, they have given up, was it five earned runs in 54 and a third inning. Everybody's starting to hit their stride here when it matters the most. And Robbie Ross Jr. has a tremendous arm, sweeps the breaking ball. Tough AB.
Well, he's in there facing Miller. There's Matt Barnes, hard-throwing right-hander in the bullpen for Boston. Miller fouls it back. Rays had 4 hits off Pomerantz, including a double by Brad Miller. You got the home run from Matuk, a double by Malin, a double by Miller, and the base hit by Matuk in the 4th. Two and two. Fly ball lifted toward Holt and left. One gone. Now Matuk will get a look at the lefty. Matuk's home run, his 2nd of the year, came on the first pitch he saw tonight. Hit it out down the left field line.
How did that miss him? How did that miss him? Boy, a yank of the breaking ball down and in, and it's like skipping rope, I guess.
The back foot moved after the ball was plenty past him. It's 1-1.
Thought it may catch that pant leg.
And again down there, that back foot getting out of the way.
Old hat now.
Yeah, that missed everything, including Holiday's mitt. Just got a little bit of it. Ball rebounds out to Shaw. Foul ball. It's 2-2. It has been 2-1 since Matuk's 2nd inning home run. We're now in the bottom of the 7th. And that's strike 3 call. 2 gone.
Yeah, that's Robbie Ross's slider, but almost like a cutter. See the fingers on the side? That ball stays same plane, and may have started that ball just on the outer edge, just off, breaks it to the plate, catches Matuk looking, and now 2 outs in the inning.
Dickerson in against the lefty. And that's a called strike. A little wide there.
Yeah, no question. Not a great way for Corey to start this at bat. Should be 1-0. That ball clearly off the plate. But not just because Myron has it there.
Oh, 2 now. Base is empty. Fly ball back into center field. That's got some carry. Will one hop the wall and bound over for a double on an 0-2 pitch. A fastball. Dickerson found the open outfield out there and bounces it over the wall.
Seen this more and more from Corey Dickerson as he is heated up here at the last little bit. Getting the balls up in the zone. Robbie Ross goes up in the zone, and that's not a bad 0-2 pitch. That's exactly where they wanted it. middle of the plate, letter high, a pitch that Corey Dickerson at times has had trouble getting to, but been doing a better job of going up there and being able to catch some of those clean as he does right there, drop it over the wall, and a 2-out chance here, and John Farrell to the mound, and off he goes.
Ravi Ross Jr. will drive that monster truck right off the field. Matt Barnes will be the new pitcher, and we'll be back in a moment. Presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealer, Matt Andrees, fresh off a win over Baltimore. Will be on the hill, and we will hear from him. Rest is in Doug. We'll break down David Ortiz. Matt Barnes, the new pitcher, 59th appearance for the Boston right-hander, and Nick Franklin will pinch hit against him. Rays down by a run. They have Dickerson at second base, and here is Franklin. And Barnes, a hard thrower, begins this at bat with a curveball for strike one. The fastball in the mid-90s, missing in a bit. It's 1-1.
Nick Franklin got an at-bat a couple of games ago. Got into a game sooner than we had thought from what we were hearing, but it turned out that Nick Franklin, asking for that at-bat, wants to keep his timing up, and we'll see if that pays off here.
He pops it up, shallow center. Bogart's out there making the call from shortstop, and the 7th is over. 2-out double, a man left. We go to the 8th, 2-1 Boston. Moving into the 8th inning of this one, it's a 1-run ball game, 2-1. Red Sox a couple in the first on the Ortiz home run. Rays got their run on the Mikey Montauk home run in the second. And we go to the 8th with Danny Farquhar on the hill and Yuniel Karakuto taking over at shortstop after Ramirez was lifted for the pinch hitter Franklin. Mookie Betts leads off against Farquhar. Curveball for a strike.
Farquhar pitching with a lot of confidence this go round. You see that curveball, the fastball, he's been able to get in there with good velocity. The changeup has really been the difference maker for him. A true swing and a miss type pitch. And everybody trying to finish strong here. You know that the Rays are going to rebuild that bullpen for next season. Who wants to be a part of it?
2-1. Good 90s fastball low. How about those numbers for Mookie Betts? 321. That pitch missed up. 3-1. Betts tonight 3-for-3. And he's on again. Draws the walk to open the 8th. Leadoff man aboard for the Boston Red Sox for the first time tonight. Here's Hanley Ramirez. Since the All-Star break, Ramirez leads the league in runs batted in. 4th overall in runs batted in with 109. Number back to the hill, back to second, wide throw. They get the out there. The ball dropped after the out was made, and a reach for the ball to make the throw. So Betts is retired. Farquhar made it interesting back there, but the Rays do manage to get at least the first out.
Well, a nice play by Logan Forsythe. This ball nubbed off the end of the bat. Here's that turn and throw, and it's a little bit wide, but look at Logan with the shifty feet right there. Saw Brad Miller do that at first base. I think it was in last night's game, and a nice job, good footwork there by Forsythe to get that out.
Shaw takes the pitch upstairs. Straight to the knees. It's 1-1. Archer worked 6, gave up 2. Ryan Garten 2/3, Evelyn 1/3, now Farquhar. Up the right field line. That's a foul ball. Look out, fellas. Everybody's okay down there. And there's a young man with a souvenir. Two count. Tap. Farquhar hustling after this. Barehanded pickup and throw, and in time at first. Boy, over there off the mound in a hurry with a barehanded pickup, and that strong throw to first.
Yeah, great hop off the mound, and then he really winds up on the throw. Not really takes his time, but look at him set, find it, step, and zip that thing over there with everything he's got. to get Shaw. Really nice play. That looked like trouble off the bat.
So Ramirez now at second, 2 gone. Jackie Bradley Jr. is the hitter. First base open. The Rays are going to walk him. So an intentional walk coming here for Bradley Jr. Holiday, the catcher, is due up. Be careful. So the intentional walk sets up mid at first and second. Farquhar will face Holiday, who has a walk and a single. Now he's turning around and headed back to the dugout. So he's going to be lifted. John Farrell has decided to go to the bench.
Benintendi. And you know what? I wondered, you know, John Farrell was slow playing this decision. But, you know, you look down the Rays bullpen, there's no other options. They have to go with Farquhar here. So you're wondering, why are you really sending Holiday to the plate? You've got a couple of options from the left side. And Farquhar, you're stuck with him because there's nobody loosening at all. And so he makes a late call. Or maybe just slow played it, and Benintendi will be the man.
Andrew Benintendi, the rookie outfielder, put together a 7-game hitting streak. We saw him earlier this year. Spent time at Double-A.
He hurt himself against the Rays.
Yes, he did. He left here hobbled. Back active with a 3-run home run Wednesday. And right now working on a 7-game hitting streak. He is hitting for Holiday, the catcher. The pitch is wide, a ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Into the screen, now 2 and 1. Well, his splits most of the time he's seen right-handed pitching, hitting .354 off righties, 204 for 20 against lefties, and he's ahead in the count, 3 and 1. He's fouled back. The count is full. Boston has led throughout on the 2-run home run in the first by Ortiz. Rays got a home run, a solo shot for Mikey Montouk in the second. Runners first and second, 2 outs, and a full count. Runners will be off. There they go. Here it is, in ball 4. That'll be the 3rd walk of the inning. One of those an intentional pass, and the bases are loaded for another left-handed bat, and that's Brock Holt. Holt had a base hit in the 4th off Archer. Way high for Farquhar.
Well, he's got to figure this out right now on his own. If isn't already made by Jim Hickey, nobody warming up in the bullpen, and need to find that strike zone.
Holt swings and lifts a popper. Foul back at third. Longoria making the call. He's got it. Boston will leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 2-1 Boston. Live postgame presented by Checkers. Todd Orestes and Doug anchor the coverage from the set in left field. We'll check out Kevin Cash and his postgame press conference and a player reaction from the clubhouse, all on Rays Live, the postgame. Christian Vasquez takes over behind the plate. Holiday lifted for the pinch batter. Here's Bobby Wilson facing Matt Barnes, and a swing and a miss. Strike one. Barnes got the pop out from Franklin in the 7th inning to end that inning. Strike on the outside part of the plate. 0-2. Slid away with the hard stuff and strikes out Bobby Wilson.
You know, that was a great sequence there by Barnes. It starts from getting ahead, and once you get ahead, here you go. Start to expand, move that, try to make that plate bigger, force a hitter's hand. And Wilson goes up after the heater, just can't quite get up there.
Jeff Decker announced as the pinch hitter for the DH Luke Maile. So Maile, who had doubled in the 3rd inning, gives way to Decker. Boxberger up in the bullpen. He's been joined by Colomé. First pitch is a strike. Pomerantz, Kelly, Ross, and Barnes, the 4 pitchers for Boston. Decker quickly behind in the count, 0-2.
Last 2 innings, we've seen some wide pitches go against the Rays. That was a curveball there that looked to start off, stay off, but 0-2 nonetheless. And now you think about expanding that zone again, see if he does it. Want it up.
That was a wave and a miss. So out there close to where strike 2 was called, and he had to chase that off the plate.
Vasquez flashed the glove, wanted it up. Not quite up, but it was off, and it was an expanding of the zone. And Jeff Decker, you almost get your hand forced.
Yeah, 2 strikes, and that second strike was in that same vicinity called.
Well, that's where you really, I mean, you just put a hitter in such a bad spot when you call a pitch like that.
Now Logan Forsythe.
Especially the previous pitch. If there's another pitch in between, maybe you can go back to erasing that and trying to stay disciplined and not chase. And if he's going to call that, then listen, your manager's going to get tossed and everything else, because those would be awful calls.
A 1-1 count. Barnes with an inning under his belt now, a couple of strikeouts.
This would be a nice spot for number 20.
Take there on a pitch away. It's 3-1. Forsythe, 1 of 7 against Barnes. And 0 for 3 tonight, but ahead in the count, 3-1 right now. And there's ball 4. Puts a man at first, and will bring Kevin Kiermaier to the plate and get John Farrell out of the dugout for Boston. He has the left-hander busy in the bullpen. And we're going to go that way. Robbie Scott has been loose. We'll be back in a moment. Brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory Ram. by Kubota. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Robbie Scott is the new pitcher. Another left-hander out of that bullpen to match up against Kevin Kiermaier. And first, the obligatory toss to first, and Forsythe is back in.
Obligatory. Well, Robbie Scott, he's going to give you a little bit of that, some of this, and every once in a while, one of those.
Yep. Right out of the O'Neill handbook. There's a strike at the knees.
Oh, that is good.
Strikeout of Wilson and Decker. Walk to Forsythe. He drops down there and gets a strike.
That's just not even fair. How about dropping down, throwing across your body, and then spinning a breaking ball that sweeps like this, right from the side. And that ball, look at that ball. You see that front hip of Kiermaier flinch. It looks like the release point is behind you. Well, you got to try to keep that front side buried in there. A lot easier said than done, but that's your only chance.
Red Sox signed Scott out of the Independent League. He was pitching in Yuma.
Okay.
In 2011.
That was a Yuma scouting report you got.
Way wide. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Played an exhibition game in spring training with the Arizona Diamondbacks. We
Yuma?
went to Yuma.
Yep.
And literally, you say to yourself, why Yuma? Like, you talk about middle of nowhere. But I think it was like an old prison camp. Right? I don't know. All I know is I wonder why we were there and why anybody lived there.
Yep.
It's out there.
Well, they've had a variety of minor league teams there, and he pitched in the North American League in Yuma, Arizona in 2011. Made 7 appearances, 1 start, pitched 11 innings, and got out of Yuma. Signed to the Red Sox. Little tap down to third. Shaw's throw to first, and the Rays are out in the 8th. Man left on base. We go to the 9th, 2-1. On Fox, when Chris Bryant and the Cubs clash with the wild card contender Cardinals tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern on Fox, or watch live on Fox Sports Go. Rays again go to the bullpen. Brad Boxberger will be the fifth pitcher of the evening. Farquhar pitched 1 inning, turned out to be a scoreless inning. 3 walks, 1 intentional. And now Boxberger to face the top of the Boston lineup in a 2-1 ball game. Pedroia 0 for 4 tonight. Pitch is high. Ground ball to third. Longoria's throw right across the diamond and on the money to Brant Miller. 1 away.
Man, big inning here, you know, for the Rays to have a shot, stay within striking distance. This Boston bullpen has been extremely difficult thus far.
Xander Bogaerts is 0 for 3 with a walk. He walked back in the first and scored on the David Ortiz home run. The ball, no strikes.
Well, and what makes it even bigger, you see Ziegler warming up in the pen. Craig Kimbrell has thrown the last 3 ball games for the Red Sox, so you're assuming because of the workload that he would be off here tonight. Certainly looks that way, and so you're able to dodge that. Not like Ziegler's a walk in the park, but Kimbrell has been downright unhittable the last, I don't know, a little month and a half.
Boxberger's job to hold him. He's retired the first man ahead of Bogaerts. That's a base hit through the hole on the left side. The 9th hit of the night for Boston. And it will get Ortiz to the plate. 1 on, 1 out.
Yeah, there's the changeup. That just stayed up enough. And that pitch down in the zone. Maybe you top it, roll it over to Longoria. It stays up. You're able to get it and hit it hard enough to find an opening.
Here's David Ortiz. 2 for 4 tonight. Pitch is outside. Ortiz 0 for 8 in his career against Boxberger. Bogaerts back in. Rays will have Longoria, Miller, and Matuk due up in the bottom of the 9th. Boxberger attempting to hold Boston to this 1-run lead. There's a strike. 1-1. Back in at first on the toss over. Fly ball, right center, and Kiermaier's there in front of Matuk to take care of it. So Ortiz skies to right center. 2 gone. Mookie Betts. Betts has been on base 4 times tonight. Mookie Betts with a single in the first, a single in the third, a base hit in the 5th, and a walk in the 8th.
And think about the hits. Infield hit, shoot a ball the other way, a slider with 2 strikes, go right back up the middle. I mean, he's covering everything right now.
There's a strike. It's 1-1. Two and 1. His bullpen has given up 2 hits tonight. Evelyn gave up a hit to Ortiz, who was thrown out at second, so that turned out to be a single. And Boxberger has given up a hit to Bogarts here in the 9th. The count to Betts is 2-2. Fly ball, short right. Montook coming in and is there to make the catch. Well, Boston leaves a man aboard in the 9th. Evan Longoria will open the bottom of the 9th, and the Rays are down 2-1. Bottom of the 9th inning, Evan Longoria will lead off for the Rays. They're down 2-1. They're facing Brad Ziegler. On for the 64th time, the veteran right-hander, 3-6. Only 1 of 27 in the save department. And the first pitch is a ball. Pitcher number 6 employed by John Farrell. He finds a strike zone with that delivery. Evan 1 of 8 against Ziegler, and this unorthodox look. There's a shot into left center field. That's going to skip to the wall. Longoria will get 2 bases out of this, and the potential tying run is at second base. Leadoff double for Longoria, his 37th of the year.
Well, right now, Longoria locked in, gets a beat on Ziegler, the ball down. Nothing really seems to phase Evan right now, and he goes down and gets a. You think about the home run that he hit off the other night in that Yankees series, a ball that was way down in the zone. He gets that one out to the gap, and the Rays, no excuses here. Got to get this man in.
Brad Miller doubled in the 4th, 1 for 3. Pitches inside. Miller has only 1 prior at bat against Ziegler, 0 for 1. Rays with 6 hits tonight. Miller takes ball 2 inside, 2-0. Ziegler's numbers, as we saw when he came in, a combination between Arizona and Boston. Chopper foul. 2-1. That ball really took off as it bounced into the stands over that low wall. Miller'd like to see one take off his bat here.
I like where your head's at. Well, he's got a good count to work with.
Two-1. Ground ball foul. Backpedaling Marco Baldelli out of the way.
Well, now Brad Ziegler would like nothing more than the strikeout. Brad Miller's still looking for a base hit to drive Evan Longoria in, a mistake that he can drive, but at the very minimum, you want to move him to third base. And he's got, I mean, he pulls the ball to the right side, he's going to do that if it doesn't find a hole, and on the left side, he's got tons of room to work with. We'll just see how Ziegler works him.
2-2 and a popper into shallow center. That ball will be caught. Nice play out there by Bogarts, getting out from shortstop. That had trouble written all over it. Bradley Jr. trying to get in there in time, and Bogarts saved the moment right there for Boston.
Yeah, you know, he's stationed over that way a little bit in the shift. That ball coming in and jamming. And look where he's got to go, right over his shoulder, threw the hat off. I don't think Bradley Jr. was going to be able to get there without a dive or a slide. That's not an easy angle to deal with, especially with the roof, and that's why you see that hat. Get the hat out of here. I want a clean sight line.
Mikey Montook. Breaking pitch that stayed in. Montook has accounted for the only run the Rays have tonight. That came on a 2nd inning home run in his first at bat. Strike at the knees. Here's that home run.
Just a mistake. Fastball first pitch, and boy, oh boy, did he unload.
Strike at the knees. Barely.
Yep.
1-2.
You could have very easily called that a ball. I don't care what Foxtrack says here. That ball is way down there. They're on the shins. Very bottom of the front kneecap.
Now 1-2. And Montook chases that one right off the plate. Missed it.
That's such smart pitching by Ziegler. You know, get the call and then just sweep it off the plate. Look at that. That bat is just not long enough because of the arm angle and how far he could sweep the breaking ball. And Ziegler an out away from getting out of this situation where Evan led off with a double.
So the Rays down to their final out, and Corey Dickerson, who doubled in the 7th inning, is up here. Time called. Vasquez, the catcher, asking for time. They're going to walk Dickerson. First base open, a 1-run ball game. They're going to walk Dickerson and not pitch to him. Karakuto is on deck. So the Rays will have 2 men on with 2 men out following the intentional walk.
Good eye. Good eye.
Leadoff double by Longoria. He's still at second. There's ball 4 to put Dickerson aboard at first base. Karakuto will come on. He was 0 for 3 with a couple strikeouts against the Yankees in the game last night. Carl Willis out there to talk it over.
They're going over a scouting report, not much known by Yuniel Karakuto and Brad Ziegler. So that's what you got. Carl Willis out there going over some things, and boy, what a spot for the youngster to get an opportunity to be a hero here.
Well, with time running out in the race, Toronto has a 9-0 lead in the bottom of the 8th at home over the Yankees. They were 5.5 back of Boston. And here, Yuniel Karakuto takes the pitch down and in. So he's up here looking for his first big league hit. It would be a great time for it.
Oh, you kidding me? Find a hole, Niner.
Young man out of Venezuela. Longoria second. Dickerson at first. A little piece of that one, a foul ball. It's 1-1. Karakuto trying to cross up the Red Sox. And he taps it foul. Down now 1-2.
Yeah, here's the problem with that swing right there is you've got a salty vet on the mound in Ziegler. Karakuto going outside of the zone there to swing at this pitch. Change up. Ball started off, stayed off. He goes after it. Now it's 1-2 instead of 2-1. And let's see if Ziegler's able to execute here, because you know he's looking to expand even further.
Expands, and the pitch blocked by Vasquez. Karakuto hit .241 in the minor leagues this year between Montgomery and Durham. You see how far off that pitch was.
Yeah, and you know what? It was the left knee that saved Vasquez right there. That ball off the glove caught the inside of the left knee, and that ball was way off. Expanding too much.
2-2. Swing and a miss. It's all over. Ziegler strikes out Karakuto. The Rays threaten in the 9th inning. A leadoff double by Longoria. They leave 2 men aboard. And Boston takes the first game of the series. It's a 2-1 final for Boston. 2-9-0, 11 left for the Rays. 1-6-0, 6 left. Pomeranz will get his 12th win of the year overall. His 3rd for Boston. He's 11-12. Archer, the losing pitcher, now 8-19, a club record in losses. 2 hours and 52 minutes. The time of this game, a save for Ziegler. That's his 4th for Boston. 20,543 here tonight. And the Red Sox win their 90th game of the year, 2-1 over the Rays. For Brian Anderson, Todd Callis, and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast, if not the outcome. Same 2 teams tomorrow. We'll be with you at 5:30 for the middle game of this series. Rays Live, the postgame, presented by Checkers, comes your way next.